Welcome everyone to another wonderful video of Dead by Daylight, sort of. You guys liked it last time I jabbered on about Dead by Daylight last week, so we're gonna do it again. If you guys really like it, drop a like, and if we get enough attention, because I will never receive enough attention, I will make another one of these. So obviously we have Myers here. Today we're just discussing who could Mikey beat in a fight? Who could he not beat in a fight? And the last one is I have no idea. So the ground rules for this is basically like, it's not like it's not Final Destination style. Like these are all killers, stalkers of their own regime. They start in like a map of Dead by Daylight, so you know there are areas to hide around, all of that stuff. And I'm gonna go off of as much knowledge as I know. We could always do a rematch of any sort of variety if you guys want to educate me with more knowledge. But I'm going off of as many movies. For Michael, I'm going off of every movie other than the Rob Zombie film, since I consider that Myers to be a lot more human than most variations of the character. So all the other variations that fit more in line with that boogeyman sort of persona, that's what I'm going with. And we're just gonna go in order. Trapper, I think Myers would beat him. I don't think the Trapper really offers too much of any special variety that could defeat the Shape. For one, if they start the fight, there is no prep time. They're going in. So he's not setting up his traps. And even if he did set up his traps, he still has to get close to Michael to finish the job. And I don't think Big Man Trapper is going to be able to finish the job. Wraith, Mikey, I think, would break his legs and feed them to him. I don't really see what Wraith could do to bring the big man down. His weaponry is a spine. Michael will break the Wraith spine over his knee, and he will brush his hands, and he'll call it a day. Billy, now this is the first one that I think would stand a bit more of a chance. You know what? Let's try and rename this. I understand that this is actually a little confusing. This could imply that these killers could beat Myers. There we go. Oh, we are so in business. There we go. There we go. I think that is a lot more clear. Okay, so Billy's weapon of choice is a lot more efficient against Myers, and he can go fast. Now, there are a few weaknesses. If Billy misses, he gets stunned for a period of time, and that could be enough time for Michael to just seal the deal. And plus, if Billy does get the chainsaw in, that's not an insta-win for the character either. He'd have to go for the neck, and his charge is vertical. So bro is not getting it first shot. You know what I mean? And Mikey has been shown that he can dodge all, he's Matrix. He is the Ultra Instinct. When he fought Lori in 2018, dude has his reactions. He may be old, but that didn't stop the big man. So I still think Myers would take it. He might suffer an injury here and there, but you know what? I think at the end of the day, he'd use the chainsaw, stab it in Big Boy Billy, and then he'd probably take the chainsaw and say, this thing's actually pretty cool, and then realize it's too loud and then stop using it. Nurse, so she can teleport. Now, the teleportation is a very strong ability, great for mobility. There is just one real big issue the Nurse has in this matchup. What is she gonna do to him? Yeah, she can teleport, she can get in close, but she has to get in close against Michael Myers. And I don't think she has the means to kill the guy. She tries to choke him, bro's gonna be like, okay, my neck is thick as a dinosaur. And then he's gonna like put his hands over hers, and he's gonna do a big old swapsy swervy. She's gonna find that she's the one getting choked out. So I don't think the Nurse actually has too much against Michael as well. So I think Myers is gonna break them too. Hag, what is she gonna do? Is she gonna like slap him? Slap him very passionately? Myers will punch her. He will throat punch her and rip her head off. The Doctor. He's got electricity. Myers has been electrocuted before in, I hate to use this as an example, but Halloween Resurrection, he took very high voltages of electricity and was completely fine. Doctor usually does like his short little bursts. I don't know if he's actually even capable of doing more than that. And even so, Mikey would live, all he has to do is, Doctor, has like a big old stick with some prods on it. I don't think he's gonna kill the Mikey boy with that either. I don't think he will. I think Mikey is going to snap him in two. This, finally, this, I think, is our first big matchup, is the Huntress. Now, a lot of people, I'm sure, are going to be like, yo, Huntress takes this. She killed all of those military people. I'm going to tell you why I think Mikey still takes it. So, she killed all the good old army boys, but there's a few things to keep in mind. One, she had the element of surprise. Those army boys had no idea where they were. She had the environment. She understood it very well, right? And plus, they were all humans, and Huntress is not very smart. And this is where I think Mikey really takes the deal. Mikey only needs to really get lucky like once. Not even lucky. Huntress is going to throw an axe at Michael. Michael is going to play dead. She's gonna go over and she's gonna be a silly little rabbit and be like, oh, he is so dead. He is so deader than dead. She takes her hatchet back, turns around, Mikey gets up and cuts her throat. It's not a very fair matchup. Mikey is also amazing at getting used to new environments super quickly. Bro goes door to door so much, and he goes into a house and it's like he built it himself. He just knows layout super quickly. So whatever advantage she might have, if we say this is on Mother's Dwelling and she's sniping, one, Mikey is a master of stealth. He is amazing at just being like, yo, I'm popping in a tree, and then he's right behind you, right? So if she's like, oh, I'm just gonna stand over here and snipe him, Mikey disappears once, and then once, there are just too many things that I think are going against the Huntress. She throws an axe at him, gets a headshot, and she's like, oh yeah, I freaking got him. And then she goes to get her axe back, or she doesn't get her axe back at all. She's like, all right, I did it. I did the job. And then she's either gonna bring him into the house, being like, yo, this is my trophy. And then he just gets up, kills her, and that's it. I think it'll be her naivety. And most people would think that too. Who would think that you could survive an axe to a head? Most don't. And Huntress definitely, if she thinks starving children, if she's like, if you don't know the Huntress lore, Huntress likes to take girls in because it reminds her of herself, and she takes those girls in and she's like, all right, I am going to keep you now. And she was confused as to why the children were starving and dying, even though she herself has eaten all of her life. If she's that dumb, I don't think she stands a chance against the Shape. However, I think she is the first strongest chance against Michael. I know I just went off of all the reasons why I think she would lose to Michael. The only chance she has is if maybe Mikey makes her really upset and then she just goes to town on the body. And even then, it's like, is that really going to kill him? Unless she cuts off his head, which I don't think she will. I don't think she's going to do that. Leatherface is going to lose to Michael. He is very spooked all the time. Michael just preys on that fear. He adores it. Leatherface is very wild. He's very all over the place. He's gonna miss. Mikey's just gonna finish the job super quickly. It's not a fair fight. It's not a fair fight. And Freddy is another interesting one. So a lot of people would be like, oh, if Freddy's in the dream world, it's over. It's done. It's over. I don't think it's done, because in nearly every Nightmare on Elm Street movie, his power comes from fear. They had to nerf Jason in order for Freddy to have any leverage over him entirely. They had to give Jason a fear so that Freddy stood a chance. He doesn't really have that luxury against Michael. Michael isn't afraid of anything. So once again, I think he's going to try things, and he's just not going to have any power at all over the Shape. Now, Amanda is an interesting one too. Most people would write it off being like, oh, Michael for sure would take this. She actually does have a bit of a winning condition though. If she can manage to get the reverse bear trap on Michael, I think there is a bit of a chance, but there is a few issues. One, she has to get in on Michael. She has to get close to Michael Myers. You know, the distance he desires to be at. Two, he's pretty good at maneuvering and dodging, like we mentioned at 2018. And then there's third. Let's say she does get the bear trap on. Can she survive a minute against Michael Myers? Can she do that? She can get it on him. But then she has, then the objective changed. The objective becomes survival. And can she survive a full minute of Myers? I don't think she can. So at best, she gets a stalemate. And I think even that is a little rare. So I think Mikey has a much higher chance of taking this. The clown. He's just... Do I really have to explain why Michael would beat the clown? I mean, he has his gas, but the gas doesn't even kill normal survivors. They just slow him down, make him a little dizzy. Who knows if it would even intoxicate the shape? Large amounts of drugs had to be used for any sort of effect to be taken in Michael in Halloween 6 with Hame, putting a whole bunch of big old druggies in his system. I don't think the clown really has much of any opportunity. Spirit, she has the mobility. Her katana, I don't think is going to be able to chop the big man's head off. I don't think she possesses the strength. So yes, she has the mobility. Similar problem that the nurse has, right? She can zip, she can zap, but she just can't do the whop. She doesn't have the whopping power to take out the shape. So I think Michael is going to break her like a shard of glass. Legion, it's just teenagers with knives. Even if it's all four. You guys see Halloween Kills? It's not gonna go very well for the Legion, even if they're all together. If they're all together and they have guns, it still wouldn't be fair towards Legion. Anyways, the Plague, I think Myers once again takes this. I don't think her puke would really have too much effect on Michael, because if all it does is make survivors vomit, okay, maybe he pukes a little bit in his mask. If it has that effect on him, who would know? And then, you know, all she has for her weapon is the little lamp. And, you know, she might try and choke him, but you ever see Halloween Kills? And with those little noodle arms, I don't know, man. I don't know. Ghostface. Ghostface has one small advantage. If it's like the other Ghostfaces, which I'm pretty sure he is, if he has knowledge of Michael Myers, then yeah, he'll be able to know that, yeah, he gets up a lot. But, you know, he also has knowledge of Michael Myers, and he should know how absolutely screwed he is. With that small little knife, it'll be hard at all to get any sort of lethal blow on the shape. And I think Michael, just Ghostfaces in general have been much more clumsy. I know the Danny Man is a more competent Ghostface, but at the end of the day, I still think the shape takes it with all of the supernatural abilities at his disposal in terms of like durability and strength. And he's no slouch when it comes to combat either. Not that Ghostface usually relies on preparation, in which he doesn't get any of this. Demogorgon could be the first Michael loses to. The Demogorgon is fast, but he's got oomph too. He could bite Mikey's head off. And this isn't a demo puppy. This is a full-on Demogorgon. I feel like I'm forgetting some Stranger Things lore. Minor spoilers. Well, this is a bit of a spoiler for season 4 if you haven't seen that in Stranger Things. I know Hopper kills a Demogorgon with a sword, but Mikey doesn't exactly have a sword, you know? I don't know. I think with the strength in Demogorgon, especially this guy, he goes for the head. He has great strength. I might be wrong about this, but I think the Demogorgon actually takes it. I think everyone give a round of applause for the Demogorgon. I think he is the first killer to take it over Michael, and I think Oni takes it as well. He's so big. He actually does have methods, and even if he stuns Michael and Michael gets back up, I think after that, Oni isn't going to make the same mistake twice. He will bash Michael's head in. I don't think Michael has a real great way of handling Oni. I think Oni takes it. Deathslinger, this might be the most unfair matchup other than Legion. I think Michael absolutely decimates the Deathslinger. Deathslinger's whole ability is pulling you in close, and that is exactly where Michael wants to be. If he gets a shot off on Michael, it's a win-win for Michael. He gets shot in the chest and dragged towards him. Oh, that is exactly what he wants. Deathslinger no longer has a weapon at that point because his harpoon is in Michael. He brings him in, and Michael's like, okay, now I'm going to do like 20 different forms of death to you. Pyramid Head. This is an interesting one because the lore for Pyramid Head is a little weird, and I don't fully understand it. I know he is a manifestation of James's guilt and is defeated once James sort of like repents, but then I know in future titles, he just sort of like keeps coming back. If we're talking about who would just win in a straight up fight, Mikey would just win in a fight and kill it, but then I also understand that it resurrects as well, but it takes time. But I would say he could take Pyramid Head in a fight. If James can take Pyramid Head with a metal pipe, Pyramid Head is super slow. Sure, if he gets a shot off on Michael, then he's fine. I don't think he's gonna get that shot off. However, if we're talking about like the real long game and Pyramid Head can just kind of keep resurrecting, I don't even know if he would still win because I feel like Michael would just have the endurance to just keep going for just about, I guess he'll die of old age eventually. But I still think we're talking like who would win in this straight up fight. I think Mikey takes it. Blight. Once again, this bro just has sticks. He's got sticks and syringes, and if he stabs a syringe into Mikey, he's just gonna get stronger. So I think Mikey takes that. He's gonna zip and ping pong over the place. Mikey just grabs him once, slams him onto the ground. He slams him onto the ground, breaks his legs. He can no longer move, and then Mikey can do whatever he wants, really. The twins. The French, I'm afraid, do not stand a chance against the shape. It is a 2v1, but one is a very small and vicious. And, you know, you got Charlotte with her fish hook. But once again, if Myers gets the fish hook, he could just use Victor as a weapon and just beat Charlotte to death with Victor. Oh, man, that would go so hard. Trickster doesn't stand a chance. This is like if Legion was like almost one person, a little more competent of a Legion. It's like a super Legion. He doesn't stand a chance. Now, Nemesis, similar to what I thought about Deathslinger being the most Myers-sided matchup, Nemesis is going to destroy Michael. He does not stand a chance. There is nothing Michael can do to kill Nemesis. Absolutely nothing. Nemesis would just stomp him into oblivion. I think Pinhead would also beat Myers. He has a tendency to just rip people apart. I guess if like there are hooks in Michael and Michael gets up to Pinhead and he like goes for throat stuff, I think more times out of not though, Pinhead is gonna take it. I think Mikey has the capability of winning, but it would have to be if Pinhead decides to play with his food for a bit too long and Myers gets the upper hand. So you could say it's here. I'm gonna put it here though, because Pinhead has the tendency to just tear his victims like completely apart. He's a big fan of that. So I don't think Michael would stand too much of a chance. But if he plays with his food for too long, Mikey could rip through a hook, grab him, and maybe that could be it. You never know, because the movie will never happen, probably. Artist, I think Mikey takes it. She's got her cool inky birds and stuff like that. To actually put her inky birds inside of Michael, though, she has to get close, like similar to her mooring. She's got to put her little hands over his mouth. And one, he's got his mask on, so he already has a bit of shield protection there. And two, once again, she has to get close to Michael to actually do that. While Mikey might vanish out of sight for a moment, slash her, and then, you know, she like, you know, covers her face or something, and boom, Mikey's gone. She's like, oh, where is he? And then he's right behind her, and then shanks her, and then feeds her legs or something like that. Sadako, I think, kills Michael. Michael, while having incredible durability, Sadako with her just like, I basically just stop your heart, I think would just murder Michael. Because Michael, at the end of the day, still has some weaknesses of a guy, even if he is incredibly durable. I think being able to completely stop his heart, I think that would kill Michael, as far as I'm aware, unless I'm missing some kind of lore here. Dredge? I don't really know, Chief. I don't know if he's capable of dying. If he is, I think, yep, he goes here. If he's not, he goes here. I don't know enough of the lore, so he's gonna be our first... I don't know. Wesker would absolutely destroy Myers. I don't think it's much of a as much of a stomp as Nemesis is, because Wesker, I think Michael would have a bit more capability of killing Wesker because he's a dude instead of the absolute bioweapon unstoppable unit. Mikey doesn't have a nuke up his sleeve. But Wesker's got agility, speed, strength. He's just got so many things over Michael. Michael doesn't take this. He doesn't take that at all. Knight is a slow boy. He has a lot of armor, though, actually. Slow down here. Ooh. That's actually tough. You know, I think Knight takes it. Initially, I was like, oh, yeah, Myers. No. How would Mikey take that? He would have to get the armor off. And he, you know, that means Mikey in this instance has to get close. He has to take it all off, yeah. I think the only way Mikey takes it in any way is if there's some sort of... no, I don't think he can. I think the armor actually carries the Knight here. I think that carries him to victory. Skull Merchant, though, she's gonna lose. She's a little lady. She's got some robots. I don't think she has any real true method of actually killing the shape. So she loses. Singularity. I don't really know. We're getting into some that I'm like, I don't know how capable he is. I'm not super familiar. I know he went crazy on his, against his humans. I believe he killed all of the humans that created him. I don't know how capable those humans are. I don't know how tough this guy is. I know for his Mori, he puts a little druggie in you and your little face explodes. That seems pretty lethal against the shape. I would assume it would make Michael also just sort of explode, I would assume. But I don't know, like, if Michael could cut off his head or just cut, I mean, it does have a, I'll put him in Myers would get broken. I'm not super sure about this one. The Xenomorph. This could go either way, I think. The Xenomorph in the first movie is a crazy, unstoppable threat, right? But then, after most movies after that, they're almost just like bugs. I mean, I suppose... Oh God, I don't know. I don't know if Mikey's kitchen knife is enough. But he's got insane strength too. If he just gets it down and like boot stomps him. Oh man, I don't know. I wanna say Xeno would win. I wanna say Xeno would win. This one, might be the most unsure I am about. You know, I've seen Alien and Aliens, and I've played Isolation. I want to say the Xenomorph would win. I think the Xenomorph would win. I think he has the speed, the strength. Mikey has more intelligence than the Xenomorph. That doesn't mean the Xenomorph is incredibly dumb, though. I think he would win. I think it's just Mikey's weapon of choice that's really putting him off. If he had a better weapon, I think he would win, but he's got his kitchen knife, and I don't think that's enough. Chucky, Mikey would win. I don't really need to explain why. Bro's a doll. Even with the strength of a man, Mikey has more than the strength of a man. He would take the Chuckster. Marvin. I don't think I know. I am not entirely sure of Marvin's capabilities. I don't know the lengths of how killable he is. Marvin has an axe, which I think is the right tool for the job. I don't know if Marvin would do great against a combat, like another supernatural combatant. I don't know. I don't know enough about Marvin. And I don't know very much about Vecna, but Bro has an army of the dead, and I think Mikey would lose to that. So yeah, I believe this is our chart. As we can kind of see here, Mikey, I believe, beats a lot of the earlier killers. And I think this is an interesting show of Dead by Daylight. A lot of the newer killers, as they've been as time has gone on, they've been releasing more and more powerful creatures, which I think, like, you know, sort of like, instead of the more traditional horror stuff, we're getting a lot more, like, not that everything here isn't traditional horror, but, you know, you have, like, the Oni, Wesker, the Knight, Singularity, Vecna. You know, you have, like, these really powerful entity, deity sort of characters. But let me know what you think in the comments below. If I'm missing some lore, let me know. I would be super happy to do a rematch if you guys want to see that. We could even, like, break down certain matchups 1v1. If you guys really think I'm super wrong about the Huntress, I could study her lore and we could do a big old rematch between them all. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do leave a like and let me know in the comments if you do want to see maybe more of this matchup type stuff. It could be really fun to do. But thank you guys very much for watching. Take care, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.